There have been many races confirmed for Mass Effect Andromeda: Turians, Krogan, Asari, Solarians, and humans. There is one race that the community has been clamoring about for months and even years to make an appearance in the newest installment of the Mass Effect series, the Quarians. Yes, the Quarians. Every other question about Mass Effect Andromeda involves them. The community wants to know if the Quarians will make a return to the game, as do we here on MassEffectFollower. Whenever the devs get asked either in interviews or on Twitter, they always respond with, "We can't say yet," which can be seen as a yes, but with how close we are to release, this might be seen as a no. The big question is, do we need the Quarians in Mass Effect Andromeda, and would it make sense to the story? I'm here to break that down a bit. Fans have been theorizing that the Quarians are in the game from an image that was taken from one of the initiative videos. A background character has a body structure that looks pretty similar to a Quarian, and if you take a look at that image, you might agree. There is that and Reyes. For those of you who might be asking who Reyes is, I don't blame you, as you might not remember. When you scanned the Krogan in the gameplay video that came out on N7 Day, and you had that one person respond to Ryder talking to her about it, that was Reyes. Now, the voice sounded male and a bit off. Now, the male part obviously does not mean he's a Quarian, but the off part reminds us of the way a Quarian sounds. It sounds like it's coming from someone within a helmet, and not just from someone speaking normally into a headset. Not just that, but just the way his voice sounds. Here, let's put up a comparison.
The tracks make it look like an ambush.
Fits the Rokar profile. It's a start.
The observatory is reinforced. Even the Geth will need time to get through it.
And here's another comparison.
Keep scanning. We need hard evidence.
This whole mission has been a disaster. I wish I'd joined you back on Freedom's Progress.
Fits the Rokar profile. It's a start.
Now they do sound pretty similar, don't they? Now that we have the fan theories in, let's talk about why it would make sense to have them in, and, sadly, why it would make sense to not have them in. You gotta have both sides of the argument. Let's start off with the more fun one of why we want them in the game. First off, they are awesome. The lore of the Quarians is quite fascinating. A race that made a mistake that almost wiped out their entire species and have been attempting to make up for it for generations. The fans instantly fell in love with the Quarians since the first game thanks to Tali. On the topic of her, she's one of the most romanced characters in the game, and that is because of the love that the fans have for not just Tali, but for the Quarians. Sure, not every race can be brought to Andromeda for story reasons. That just makes sense. But the Quarians are a huge part of the Mass Effect story, that without them, it would feel like something is missing. Not a key thing, but a feeling like you are having a birthday party and someone forgot to bring the pizza. It's not an integral part of the party, but an important part to many who are there. Another point as to why the Quarians should be in Andromeda is the fact that they are the most tech-savvy race. Sure, the Geth are too, but keep in mind the launch to Andromeda takes place before Mass Effect 2, so many of the people weren't too friendly with the Geth. The other races are decent with technology too, no doubt about that, but none are matched by the skills of a Quarian. They are engineers by nature, and what do you need when building settlements that need to sustain an unknown happenings in the new galaxy? Who do you need to fix your ship on a moment's notice with speed and efficiency? Who do you think would be best at understanding unknown technology and learning how it works and how to integrate it into technology that you can use? The simple answer is a very skilled engineer. It would just fit that that role in the story is played by the Quarians. The Krogan and Turians were brought in as muscle, Solarians as scientists, the Asari for their biotics and knowledge, and the humans as they were the ones that came up with the initiation and started the project. Who are we missing? The engineers. Now for the not so fun part of the video. Why the Quarians shouldn't be in Andromeda. For starters, there aren't many Quarians to go around. The migrant fleet need as many Quarians as they can get, so the idea of a few dozen going off to Andromeda wouldn't be something that just happens. True, they can do this to spread the Quarian species, and those doing it can do it for their pilgrimage, but again, the migrant fleet doesn't just let the Quarians up and leave. Another big reason why the Quarians shouldn't be in Andromeda is the fact that there are a few amount of races, which means that we get more detail on how each race reacts to the new environment and how they interact with the new species. Again, it would be interesting to try and find a planet that the Quarians can live on, which we will get back to that topic pretty quickly. But by doing that, you're taking away opportunities to fully flesh out the races that are already known to be there. Sure, it is just one extra race, but that could take up a lot of time and effort on the development end. That, and we already kinda have that story with the genophage going on in the Krogans. Now, I did say we would get back to the habitable planet for the Quarians. The most explainable situation is that the Andromeda Initiative has already found a few planets that are habitable for the key races in the Milky Way galaxy. And I am sure that the Quarians got a look at these planets and saw that none of them would allow the Quarians to live without their suits, and the majority decided that it would be best to still fight to get their own planet back in the Milky Way system, rather than hope to get one that might work for them in the Andromeda galaxy. Personally, I would love to have the Quarians in Andromeda. I think having them in the story would put an interesting twist on finding habitable planets and complex problems that might arise in the story. Now, this is neither confirming that the Quarians will be in Andromeda, and this is not saying that they won't be. Again, the developers have not said yes or no, and the game obviously isn't out yet, but it is close with less than 45 days. But what about you? Do you want the Quarians in Mass Effect Andromeda, or are you fine with them being left out this time around? Let us know in the comments down below, and while you are there, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.